One of the things is that sometimes we're told this is such a crisis and such an emergency that we've got no alternative. And it's almost as though you're being irresponsible and crass and dangerous just for asking questions. And I think what's so important, and we're going to hear a lot more about this, but what to me is so striking is the democratic deficit we're now experiencing as a consequence of this is the only thing. A few very wealthy billionaires have underwritten all sorts of groups and campaigns that we as Together has seen when we go and do campaigning around low traffic neighbourhoods, around ULEZ, around LES in Scotland, around the Clean Air Zone, where we know 50,000 constituents have not paid and they've had their appeals upheld, in Birmingham and the Midlands, RPZs, we've seen a ring of steel in Bath, we've seen in Cambridge residents and businesses challenging the congestion charges. All of these things are underpinned by this idea of the clean air, and you must do it now and be quiet, but you're being irresponsible and irrational and unscientific if you don't go along with this. And actually, this is why this is so important, that we're now going to get this. There's obviously the Telegraph and others have done an initial piece of work on this. It's very important, but this is going out to everyone. And as Andrea says, our hundreds of thousands of signatories are going out to our MPs saying, we want to actually know where you stand on this. Are you going to sign a pledge? Are we going to have a full audit and scope of this situation? Because how can we actually have a cost-benefit analysis if we don't know the wide parameters of the debate and discussion, if they're dominated by a very particular outlook? How can MPs get the full picture? How can constituents? How can we have democracy? So our goal is to put that really on the map, and that's why we're so excited that today we've got Catherine McBride, who's a writer and a researcher. She writes extensively on net zero and the economy, has worked in a range of areas, reporting on government and on industry, and she's going to be asking some pressing questions to Ben Pyle, who's the author of this report. Ben, who had written a previous report where somehow no journalists in Britain were able to ask the question, were 4,000 people really dying of this situation of air pollution with regards to ULEZ or not? But Ben did the hard work there, got that work out and got it as part of a discussion, which led to further FOIs from the Telegraph. And now this really essential piece of work across the UK. Ben Pyle, who's both a researcher and a writer, and obviously is with Climate Debate. He's also our representative on our cabinet for net zero and the environment.